Hello, and welcome back to my channel. If you are new here, I am Disco Kitty, the Crappy Crafter. I am at the end of having COVID still. I'm recording this in the final days. I'll be going back to work soon. So if I seem phlegmy or just not all that with it, that's why. So, that being said, today we are going to be working with polymer clay. I have some original Sculpey that I've bought. I don't even remember when I bought it. It's been a while. And I also have some Arteza polymer clays. Now these are so... look at this. Seriously. So flippin' tiny. What are they? They're 1 ounce a piece. There's 42 colors, but they're stupidly tiny. So, what am I going to be doing with polymer clay today? I'm glad you asked. I am going to make a shaker charm out of polymer clay instead of resin. I will probably still coat it in resin to give it strength, but we'll see how that works. So, I got this idea from Creative Racheal, and I will link her channel down below. She's a lot of fun to watch. I recommend it. And, yeah, so all that said, let's get into it. Okay, first thing we're going to use is we're going to use this little half sphere mold in order to make the clear part of her little belly so that we can see the little shaker bits inside. I don't want her to have a little flat belly because then she won't have as much room for little bits and doodads. We'll use UV resin, we'll cure it up really good. Technically this one doesn't work out so well, but I'll do it again and it'll be a little bit more magnifying than I kind of want, but it works pretty well in the end, I think. Now it's time to actually get into making the little critter. And it looks like I have actually opened this clay before, but I don't remember actually ever using this, and I'll say that again. It is so soft and greasy and so nasty. I do not like this original stuff. It is so soft. It just picks up every little fingerprint, every little speck of dust. It just grabs everything it can and just makes itself really gross. It is so icky and squishy and ew. I am gonna try to persevere with this for a little bit, but eventually I'm just gonna give up. And then we're going to use this piece of paper, just a plain piece of printer paper. A laid piece of paper probably would have been better, like a watercolor paper or something like that, sketch paper or something, probably would have been better to really leach all the oils out, or as much as I can. I am actually going to do this 3 times, and I still feel like it's a little on the soft side. This is the first attempt, and just look at how much oil the paper has absorbed from this clay. Ew! It is so gross. But after 3 attempts with the paper, it works a lot better. It feels a little crumbly now, which is not any better, but at least it's not sticking to everything. Instead of using a ball stylus, I'm going to use the little piece of UV resin that I made earlier, so that way that we know that it's the same size on both pieces. I'm going to make some little arms and legs for her body. They're not very good arms and legs, they're just little, little stubbins. But I don't think she minds, she's not going anywhere. You always want to try to remember to blend all the pieces together so that they're more likely to stick. I really should be using Bacon Bond for every piece, and I have some, I just didn't think about it. Luckily everything stays together in the oven. Time to make her tail, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to make a little carrot of white, and then I'm going to make another little carrot of pink, and then I'm going to cut the pink one and kind of mold it onto either side of the white part. It'll work pretty well. I'm going to attach the head. Like I said before, I really should be using some Bacon Bond. What I'm actually going to do is I'm going to roll out a big old coil of clay, and then we will smooth that into the head and the body so that it helps hold her all together. And then I guess we'll finish up the tail. Or maybe we'll do the fins first. I don't remember. We'll see when we get there. Oh, the face. I'm going to do her face 3 times during this video. Twice with clay and once with a marker. Because I just keep brushing off her little face. And this is the reason why you should use Bacon Bond for everything. Because the face, while it stays on in the oven, I accidentally knock her little eye off after I bake her. So, we'll see that later. It doesn't go well. Okay, here we go working on the second part of her tail. We're going to get, like I said, a little carrot of pink, and then we're going to slice it in half about 2/3 of the way to the end. And then we'll slip it on over the white part of the tail. And then we will realize how long this tail has become, and it's a little on the long side. So what we're gonna do is we're just gonna chop off pieces and reattach the pink part, because that's way too long. Chop off one piece. It's still too long, so let's chop off another piece. Good thing I haven't cured her yet, although I probably should have. You want to save your progress as often as possible. So, we'll make a coil of clay, and then we'll smooth it into the tail and her rump so that it stays, and it will stay. It won't fall off. I'm very pleased. Cut some notches into the little fin. And I will end up curling this and tucking it in underneath her left foot, which is fine. Next up, we're going to work on her little head fins. Is that how they breathe? I'm not sure. I don't really know much about them. They're just so cute. And remember, I got this idea from somebody else, and I'll link her below, although my interpretation on it is much different than her interpretation on it. I think hers is way cuter. I went to bulbous, I think. But it's still cute in the end. Layer a little bit of white on top of the pink, and I'm not going to cut that bit off. I'm going to use that as an anchor. I'm going to smooth it into her head, and that will help hold that little fin on. And we're going to do that 5 more times. Here I'm going to scrape off her face for the first time. She hasn't been cured yet, so it's pretty easy to get rid of that clay, but I just kept touching it and moving the eyepieces, and we're gonna try it again. I'm not sure why, but it's gonna fail. Well, I mean, it's not really gonna fail. I'm just gonna bump it with my hand after I bake it, and that will knock off her mouth, so I sand off everything else and just use a little marker. Want to make sure that the belly fits, and it fits really good. I don't want to bake that though. I don't know if baking resin is a good idea. I'm pretty sure probably not. I am going to use a little clay softener in order to try to smooth out the fingerprints. I don't get very detailed with this. I don't do her backside or anything. Basically just her face. I'm not really sure why I tried, but I think it works pretty well. And she has been baked. Her face has fallen off. but the fins did not fall off in the oven. So I knocked off her face, and then the fins fell off because a cat came and knocked her off the table and decided that he wanted to play with her on the floor. Nope. So a little super glue and her fins will go right back on, and nobody will ever know. Well, except for all of the people that I just told. But they go back on pretty well, pretty easily. It's nice. Here, I'm going to use a little UV sealer from Sophie and Toffee to make sure that her belly is nice and sealed up, because I haven't decided if I'm going to put liquid in her shaker belly yet. Probably not, but I mean, I end up not. That's just a given. But at this point, I wasn't sure yet. Gotta make sure that there's still a tight fit. And it does fit. It just keeps popping out because I'm a klutz. But it's good. We get it in there. And then it will be time to fill her little belly. And we're going to use all pink things because she is white and pink. That's the theme. So lots of just different pink and white glitters and charms and little balls and styrofoam balls, and it's a lot of fun. Next thing we're going to use is a little Emily no wipe gel top coat. It has to absolutely be no wipe because any other gel top coat will leave a sticky inhibition layer, and if that is on the inside of her belly, I won't be able to get to it, and all of the little pieces are going to stick to it. Not that it matters, because I end up making all the little pieces stick to the inside of her belly around the edges anyways, but I did what I could to keep it from happening. She's all cured up now, and none of her little pieces fall out. And at this point, I think I've decided that I'm not going to drill a hole through her belly and add liquid. I think she looks pretty cute the way she is. Magnification is a little much, but you know what? Overall, she came out really cute. Lastly, we will paint on her little face. I don't know how long this will last, but I think it came out pretty cute. What do you think? Do you guys think she's cute? Leave me a comment below and let me know. Tell me what you would have done differently, how you would have made her, what kind of clay you would have made, what you would have put in her belly. Let me know all the little details you would have done differently. Well, that didn't work the way I wanted it to, but it worked, technically. So here she is. Anyways, so she technically worked. As I said in my voiceover, one of my cats found her and decided to knock her off the table and broke off 2 of her little fins. I was able to glue them back on pretty good, though. You can barely see that they've broken off except for that big old crack right there. But yeah, I mean, she worked. That clay was absolutely horrible, though. I hated every moment working with it, so I've ordered different clay, same brand, just different consistency, I hope, because that original stuff, ooh, that was soft. That was so soft. Like, you could probably even pipe that in a piping bag and make little, like, yeah, that stuff was super soft. Not as soft as air dry clay, the spongy stuff, but it was pretty soft. So I'm going to order some new stuff that's hopefully a little bit harder and easier to work with. We'll see. But I still want it to be white because she's white. So someday, hopefully, I will make her again. We'll see. Until then, stay safe. Today we're going to be working with some Super Scoopy. No, Original Scoopy. See, I said it wrong. 56 time the charm, right? Okay. I have Super Scoopy. No, I have